Hello and welcome to my channel, Blissfully Single Bean. I'm your homegirl, Beans, and I'm the blissfully single one. I'm extra blissful today because my umbrella lights finally came from Amazon. I'm testing them out now, actually, and I love the light. And actually, because I have these lights, now I don't have to restrict myself to doing these videos once a week, Saturday mornings, or Saturday, or if I don't go to church, Sunday mornings. So yes, I am really hyped. Thank you, Amazon. Love you guys. I also love you, my subbies. Thank you for putting me on to Married at First Sight, because I'm not gonna lie, this is a nutty behind show. Nutty as hell. I'm like, young people, are you really getting married to someone that is picked for you? Are you really entering into a modern day 2020 arranged marriage? Yes, they are. And before I proceed to judge them, I said, Beam, boom, boom, slow down, baby. Are you judging prematurely? What if you got to a point where you felt like the dating scene ain't shit? I still feel that way. But you feel like time is ticking. You don't have kids yet. You don't have a husband yet. Would you consider something like Married at First Sight? And after careful reflection and really digging deep into myself, hell no. Are you out your ever loving mind? No. First of all, a family was important to me, but it wasn't that damn important. Not that damn important. Secondly, I am crazy. I have my idiosyncrasies. In a second, I'm shutting down. I'm a Cancer. Sensitive. 1 minute I'm crying. The next minute I can be cussing you out. So you can't pick anybody for being. Not just any old body. So no, I would not be rocking. No, not me. This is not what. No, no, not for me. I mean, this is going to be entertaining to see, but yeah, I'm judging you. I'm looking at you guys like this. See that good eye? That one good eye. I'm watching you young people. So the first episode I saw was it last week or the week before? It was a special. They were going through the process of picking the couples, and I will say they weren't light, or they didn't take it lightly. They had a 3-panel crew filtering through the applications, doing personality assessments, psychological evaluations. I would imagine would be part of the whole process. But there's a pastor involved, a psychologist, and I believe a counselor. But I have to say, a pastor was part of the shenanigans? Really? I don't know. I can't relate. I go to a conservative Haitian Pentecostal church, and I wish you would come to my pastor with something like that. That man will look at you like you lost your rabbit behind mine. Like, huh? Kisa? What? Child. This was a long episode. Thankfully, they didn't not go through with the wedding of all 8 couples, because I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't have sat through all of that. Luckily, blessedly so, they only went through 3 couples. It was Katie and Derek's wedding, Brandon and Taylor's wedding, and Jessica and Austin's wedding. So thank you for sparing us. But it was very interesting to see. So Katie and Derek. Katie is a really cute, short, blonde girl. Really, really cute. She's a diabetic. So having children for her in the future may be an issue. So what she's trying to do is pop up them babies like really quickly. So she's about to having babies. She's trying to spit them out like what's going on. So this is one of the reasons why she entered into the show, because she's not getting any younger. This diabetes is still ravaging her body, and she wants to make sure she has her kids and her husband. So she's dressed up, looking gorge in her wedding dress, but Katie is nervous. Katie has butterflies in the tummy, and you know why? Katie's ex-boyfriend reached out to her a couple of weeks before her marriage to see what's up. So that had Katie conflicted. And I'm like, Katie, if he reached out to you and you weren't in a space where you can definitively say, I'm good, love, enjoy, then maybe you should rethink this whole married at first sight thing. Just saying. So her future husband Derek is Mr. Never Been in Love. And I'm tripping because you're going to go from never being in love to being married and hoping that you eventually fall in love with your wife. It doesn't sound very sound to me, but at the same time, I remember when I was in junior high school and I was reading about arranged marriages, there was a statistic that showed most arranged marriages work out, or very little of them end up in divorce. And one of the reasons why is because, yes, you go in not knowing the person, not loving the person, but you do grow to love the person as life progresses. So maybe that will be the case for Derek, but I'm like, Derek, I don't know. Seems a little bit iffy to me. It's a very big stretch from never being in love to boom, marriage. The transition alone, I would imagine, would be jarring. Derek mother flies in for the nuptials, and let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. I am a mother of two adorable boys. My kids got one time to walk through that door right there. Walk through that door in Deer Park, okay, and say, Mom, I'm going on this show because I want to get married to a woman I've never met. I'm not standing behind that. I love my kids. I love my kids to death. But you really got one time. Listen, I'm cutting you off. I'm not standing behind you. You can go on and marry that girl. Go on and have your kids. I don't want to meet her. I don't want to meet the kids, the grandkids. Nothing. I am done. Because I feel like a decision like that is so important and so vital. At the basic, you have to know what you're getting yourself into. You have to know. Do you guys have the same goals? Financially, are you guys aligned? Physically, yes, physically. Are you guys compatible? There is so much that goes into a marriage. I would not take that lightly. So no, the hell not. Beans will not be flying out to see Simon get married at first sight. No, but Derek's mother did. Derek's mother said when she got the news that he was getting married, she cried for 3 days, and on the third day she was like, all right, why not? And then she had a change of heart. So she came to encourage him. She kind of got teary-eyed because she feels like she's losing him. We pan over to Katie's parents. Katie's mother is on board. The dad, dads are very protective over their little girls. He has mixed feelings about the whole situation. Katie still has the mixed feelings about the whole situation. So Derek is in his tux. He is sweating bullets, noticeably nervous. He's in the back of the church, makes his way to the front of the church. And it was so weird to me. He was walking down the aisle to take his stand right there at the altar to wait for his bride. And as soon as he walks in, everyone starts applauding. It's a wedding. It's not a spectator sport. It's not a tennis match. That was really strange to me. So he's waiting for her. Katie is hella nervous. The ex-boyfriend thing is weighing on her. But then she got to a point and she said her ex is reaching out to her. She doesn't know what would happen if she went back to the ex. Because they broke up for a reason. Their ex is for a reason. But she has someone who is aligned with what she wants. And she knows this for certainty because they went through the process. So she says, I'm going to forget about this whole ex thing, and I'm going to walk down the aisle and marry this man I've never met, because at the end of the day, at least I know he wants what I want. And as crazy as I think this nonsense is, it does make sense. Katie walks down the aisle, and they look at each other and kind of giggle, and they collect. They look very cute. They from the visual, they make a very good-looking, cute couple. They get to the altar, and they did something unique. There were 2 sets of vows. The first sets of vows came from family and friends talking to the groom or the bride, basically letting you know what you're getting. And then the second set of vows is the more traditional, where Katie and Derek, exchange, and I was like, how are they going to do this? But they did a really good job. They wrote vows in a way. they didn't emphasize history because there wasn't any history between the two of them. So they wrote their vows in a way to say, I'm going into a situation and I'm looking forward to growing in it with you. So I thought that was really cute. And they get married, they kiss the bride, they walk down the aisle, and then they go to a patio and they start meeting each other. And what Derek was like, what's your last name? Y'all just got married. I can't. They were getting to know each other at that moment. They asked each other about what they did for a living. Was Katie a counselor or a children's counselor or something like that? And Derek did something really cool that escapes me right now. Had to do with coding? It was something really cool. So I'm gonna flash over to Brandon and Taylor, and I'm gonna have to preface this with saying these two I'm not sure about. I feel like there's an immaturity with Brandon, or if it's not an immaturity, there's something there that I can't quite put my finger on. But he's there with his groomsmen, and he shows them the ring, and then he pulls out a card to write to Taylor. And while he's writing to Taylor, he says, "I hope she's pretty. I hope she's curvy. I hope she has legs for days." And it's like, don't set yourself up. What if she looks like an ogre? I mean, this is what you signed up for. So it kind of seemed to me like, he just seems a little bit young in the mind. Taylor is gorgeous. Luckily for Brandon, yes, Taylor is tall, pretty, and gorgeous with long hair. You lucked out. But Taylor is also a scientist. She's very intelligent, and hearing her talk, she has a nice balance of being she's a student as well. She's a nice balance of her career, being studious, and having fun. Like, she's not a homebody. She likes to go out. I think as a part-time job, does she make bourbon or test bourbon, which I think is really cool. But Taylor is all in. Taylor is bubbly. She has a good bubbly energy about her, and she wants the companionship. She just wants somebody to be there. DC must be a very hard dating pool, because I would think somebody like Taylor, you're smart and you're gorgeous, would have been scooped up already. We see Brandon getting ready to walk down the aisle. Brandon, he says he has an anxiety, so he's at this moment. If you suffer from anxiety, honey, this this situation is quite anxious, I must say. He's there waiting for her to walk down the aisle. But, when he finally does walk down the aisle, all that anxiety, I see it dissipates. And he walks down mad calm, mad cool, and collected. So he goes down the aisle. Did he says he hopes she's pretty? I think he mentioned something about hoping that she's pretty. Again, Brandon, calm down. She is pretty. Taylor walks down the aisle, and they meet each other for the first time. Very awkward energy. And of course, there's going to be some level of awkwardness to this whole situation. But at the aisle, I noticed that their level of awkwardness was a little bit more than the prior couples' energy, than Katie and Derek's energy. And they just Taylor and Brandon just didn't seem to connect as well as the altar. So now they get into the vow piece. They go into the first part of the vows. Taylor, Brandon, this is what you guys are getting each other. And now the personal vows between bride and groom. Brandon starts everything off. And Brandon says, did I write it down? Brandon says, from the moment I first saw you, I know I wanted to be with you. Brandon's mother and grandmother looked at each other like, Brandon, you wrote these vows before, right? N'est-ce pas, my friend? When did you've never seen it before. I know I liked you the moment I see you. It's just, that came off as disingenuous. It came off as a little bit fake. It came off like it wasn't from the heart, like you had to write something and it was something cliched that you picked up and wrote. So I was like, Brandon, yeah, I'm not connecting with you on that one. Taylor went on to say her vows, which are a little bit more heartfelt, because again, she phrased that as, I don't know you, but I'm looking forward to this journey. So they go back they go back to their bridal suite or whatever to get to know each other. And man, awkward would be an understatement. They got to a point where Taylor's like, hold on, you don't have to sit so far away. Let me sit closer to you. They're trying to break the ice, but Brandon is so stiff. And I want to even say a little bit closed off. Am I right? Did you guys get the sense that Brandon was a little bit closed off? But even Taylor in her confessional said it was really awkward. And I had to question, damn, does he even like me? And I was like, yeah. I think what she was picking up on is her energy was all in. She was happy. She was ready to go for the gusto, and Brandon didn't meet her there. Brandon was a little bit more laid back, a little scared, should I say. But yeah, I don't know about these two. I'm rooting for all of them, but I don't know. They make a great looking couple though. They're a very good looking couple, getting to know each other. She tells Brandon that she's a scientist. She works at a hospital during the day, and I think she tests bourbon. Which, where did they get do you know a wine tasting job? Because I'll do that. I'll taste wine for a living or part-time. Hell, it's better than working at these Home Depots part-time. Yes, ma'am. So I think that's a really cool job. Brandon says he's a beer salesman, but then later on he says he's the brand ambassador. Which one is it, Brandon? Because either you're in sales or either you're a brand ambassador. Those two are not the same. I work in marketing. Our brand ambassadors don't get a paycheck. We give them free product. They test it out, and and that's basically it. They get goodies to test out for us, and they market for us. That doesn't get a paycheck. A beer salesman would imply that you're in sales, that you're some kind of account manager. So that to me was a little bit fuzzy. And I will say, one of the issues this couple might have is I feel like they're not, all right, how's a smart way to say this? I don't feel like Brandon is as intelligent as Taylor is. Taylor is extremely smart, and she seems extremely driven. She has a great career. So I feel like that may be a point of contentions between the two. Again, just started. I'm just saying how I feel, just coming from where I am coming from. So next we pan over to Jessica and Austin. Jessica, I remember from when I watched last week. Jessica's a super tall girl, and she has a twin, and she bakes cookies. I remember seeing her bake cookies and I'm like, damn, Timmy's going to kill me. Timmy has been begging me for months to bake cookies. As soon as the weather changes to fall, that's cookie baking season for me. And I haven't baked cookies since we lived in Brooklyn.
No, I think Lynbrook.
Lynbrook.
You said Brooklyn. But can I go biking outside?
You can go biking. Man, I haven't baked a damn cookie in 4 years. I got to stop buying these ShopRite store-bought. Timmy's tired of it. So the fact that Jessica bakes, I'm like, oh, you're a baker. You bake cookies. So again, Jessica's the super tall one. So Jessica's hoping that this groom of hers could match her with the height. Jessica's talking to her twin sister, and Jessica has this weird thing about her twin sister where, the twin sister has already reached these, landmarks in life. Jessica's twin sister got married. She has the child. So I feel like a little part of me feels like Jessica being on this show more has to do to keep up with her twin sister. And I'm sorry if I'm coming off as harsh and judgmental, but that's kind of like how I feel. And what backs that up is Jessica said something weird to her twin sister. Jessica says, what if I'm walking down the aisle and he sees you first and he thinks, wait, I already saw her. And Jessica's sister was like, if that's the case, I can switch into your wedding dress. And they both laughed. But I think her motives may be a little bit skewed to kind of be in line with where her twin sister is at. And I don't think that's the best idea for settling down and having a family. Needless to say, going on a show and marrying someone that you've never met. So Jessica mentions, she hopes he's cute. She hopes he's not blonde with no facial hair. And they pan over to her Austin, who is exactly that. Blonde with no facial hair. But I was curious to see if he was taller than her. So it was going to be very interesting. Jessica makes her way down the aisle, the pretty bride. And when she gets there, I was like, whew. Yeah, she's wearing heels, but Austin still has her by a couple of inches. I was like, yes, that's good, because I know that was important to her. On a side note, do you guys know couples where the wife is taller than the husband? Is that weird to you? I'm sorry if you guys are with the guy who's shorter than you, and no disrespect, but it's just like such a weird, it's just weird to me, because the traditional couple, the man is the protector. He's, supposed to be bigger, taller. So when I see a woman who's taller than her husband. It kind of feels like role reversal for me. Again, I'm weird. And this is just an opinion. Please do not drag me for an opinion, because that's why we're all here, to share opinions. But yeah, I just found that super, I find those couples a little bit, not weird, curious. But we're all happy. Austin is taller than Jessica. Jessica does think Austin is super cute. And Jessica mentions later on in the reception that he's getting cuter and cuter and cuter. Cute. They share vows. I don't remember their vows, but I remember thinking their vows were excellent. For two people who don't know each other, yes, they did that. So they kiss, and they go back to their bridal suite to have a conversation. I will say it did sound natural. The conversation did sound natural. There was a little bit of an awkward energy there, but certainly not as awkward as Taylor and Brandon's conversation was. So it seemed like it was natural. They were very talkative, very giggly with each other. So you can feel their excitement, whereas I didn't feel Brandon's excitement with Taylor. So now we transition on to the first dance, and all of the first dances were awkward. And of course it is. You guys have never met each other. You don't know how each other's bodies feel. You don't know how to move in sync with the person. So yeah, all of the first dances were a hot mess. But surprise, surprise, Brandon and Taylor's dances were a triple hot mess, because Brandon had no beat and he was stiff as hell. I was so embarrassed for Brandon. And you know, we black folk, I mean, we know how to keep a two-step or two. So I was very surprised. Yeah. So after this, they transition the couples. They go sit down. They have their reception. They're eating with family and friends. And again, this is a moment where these couples are getting to know each other more and more. They pan over to Katie and Derek, and Katie mentioned something about she can't have too much bread, because if she has too much bread, then she's going to need to take more insulin, and that would suck. And I'm thinking this diabetes thing is definitely going to be a sticking point, or something that they have to work around. So we pan over to Mika and Michael, and at this point I'm like, oh Lord have mercy, I can't do this again. But I'm like, all right, hold on, girl. Hold on, girl. So Mika, immediately her face just turns me off. She looks, for a lack of a better phrase, she looked like she have an attitude. She looked very negative, and her bridesmaids are like, what is wrong with you? She was like, look at this. My dress is too big. I knew this was gonna happen. Like, I'm gonna be walking down the aisle, and look, here, husband, look at everything. I'm gonna give you a peep show. Well, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to give your husband a peep show. You see, I don't understand what the problem is. Her energy was so off. I'm like, girl, for all of that, you should have turned your ass right back around and went home, because I don't see nothing good coming out of this Michael and Mika situation. Poor Michael. Michael was in his tux, was surrounded by his people, anticipating everything, and Mika's over there bitching and complaining because her dress is too big. That's what you're bitching and complaining about? All right, girl. I'm already not seeing it from Mika and Michael, but thankfully the episode went off right there, because yeah, anything a little bit longer would have been, I would have passed out. I would have turned the TV off. But I'm interested in seeing how this is going to work. Do you think they make these couples sign a prenup? I would hope so. Even if they don't have any money, I would think that's the responsible thing to do, because there's a chance that these couples may not work out. There is a very big chance, because when I was watching the episode last week, I think they said maybe 8 couples were still married and they had kids, which means most of these couples are not still married. Man, this is a hot mess. But I feel like Miss Mika is about to bring the drama next week. So we'll see what happens. I will continue to watch, and I will continue to review. My subbies, thank you so much for recommending this show. It is a shit show, and I am here for it. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. If you're not a subscriber, please like, comment, and subscribe. Join my Beanie Pie gang. Guys, I work on resumes. I'll leave my information in the description box. If you need a resume updated, or you need a resume completely redone, trust me, I can hook you up. Send me a resume and I'll evaluate for free. Also, I have a blog, blissfullysinglebean.com. Would you take a moment and just stop by? I have the link in the description box. I just put up a post of 15 New Year's resolutions that you can easily keep. Because I feel like once the new year goes, gets into full swing, everyone wants a fresh start, which is good. But we tend to set up these resolutions like I'm going to lose 35 pounds and save like $10,000. Break your resolutions down to smaller steps, and that way, once you conquer the small, you have enough to conquer the big. Thank you guys so much. Have a happy Saturday, and I will see you next week for Married at First Sight. Bye, guys.